This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
I think it's a great pity that the engineers responsible for this spacecraft are not better known. They should be on postage stamps. Carl Sagan. Space mission designers face endless questions. It kind of goes with the territory. Half the time, they're aiming for a goal nobody's ever tackled before. And when it came to this whole grand tour to the outer planets, well, that stuff was just totally off the map. Unreserved brain space fills quickly, as discomforting facts pile on top of complications. By the time anything gets to Neptune, our sun is just a tiny orange ball. Solar panels won't work, but the spacecraft can't run off an extension cord. And the distance, 3 billion miles? Holy cow, will the radios go that far? What about the time delay? Does anyone have any experience stringing up a billion-mile phone line? Will a camera still work after years in the numbing environment? Yeah, and what about those pictures? Only a few years before, photography wasn't even on the menu. Scientists tended to hold their noses in the air if the subject came up. But what they kept forgetting is that photography unites the world. It's a commonality running through all our veins. Dismissing overworked prose and fancy adjectives, images get straight to the point. Everyone relates, as was proved by Ranger, Luna, Mariner. Unmanned spacecraft might not have their flyboy jock heroes in the nifty suits, but oh, could they snap the most breathtaking of pictures. This machine definitely had to have a camera. Of course, the cool shots become possible only if the spacecraft makes it out near the intended targets. Lists of problems grow distressingly huge long before Neptune. First, the travel hazards need to be addressed, such as the asteroid belt past Mars. Why put in all the effort if the ship can't even make it down the road? If the trip then worked out, the mission itself would become everybody's next point of contention. And in Jupiter's particular neck of the woods, environmental hazards eclipse those of Venus and Mars by several orders of magnitude. How much of a problem is Jupiter's intense radiation? What will it do to the electronics? From there, questions regarding the science experiments begin to crop up. How close can we get to the moons of Jupiter and still get good scientific data from the planet itself? Can we control the ship precisely enough for that? Then, how close to Saturn's rings? And the scientific data there? All in all, there were too many questions for two guys and a cause. No matter how hard Roger Burke and Gary Flandreau worked the situation, the pair kept getting steamrollered by the project's sheer scale. As Flandreau succinctly positioned it, we were to build a machine capable of flying for 10 years without making a mistake, using the electronics of the time. Questions and uncertainties piled higher and higher. A mountain of unknowns threatened to avalanche Pasadena and bury all of them like Vesuvius and Pompeii. Curiously enough, though, everything boiled down to a simple chicken and egg problem. Nobody could design a spaceship for Neptune because they didn't know what to use. No knowledge base existed. There was no stockpile of recipes from which to draw, no tricks. That is to say, the absolute nuts and bolts technology required for an 8-year Neptune flight simply was not present. What they needed was some kind of research phase. Wisely, JPL thus sanctioned a formal technology effort, as they internally referred to it, christening the new endeavor with a suitably yucky bureaucratic acronym like good government agencies always do. They called it TOPS. In June 1968, NASA threw some dollars at JPL to fork into the work of TOPS. The money was caught by a fellow named William Shipley, who accepted the role of point man and signaled the opening kickoff by labeling a clean, new 3-ring notebook and placing it on a mostly empty shelf in his office. This is where the work would live. Shipley's assignment was to play Victor Frankenstein. If they could create a wunderkind spaceship to travel to the outer planets, What would it be like, and what would it require?